That's probably my favourite drill with the driver, is just swing it forward, step in, and really feel like you create that energy on the way in. Okay, so that's a bit more like it. Add in a little bit more speed.
Yep, better.
Obviously, a bit more of the high launch, low spin, adding all the kind of ingredients we've talked about today, Mikey.
Yep.
Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're talking all things speed, Mikey. Distance, speed, longer equals better.
Better.
We see the correlation, guys, every single time we see data on how far low handicappers hit it versus high handicappers hit it. It is a scale like that. The lower the handicapper, the farther you hit it. If you want to be a lower handicap golfer, if you want to get to that next level in your game, sure, fairways are important, right? To a degree. What's more important than fairways actually is just not hitting it in the junk and having penalty shots. That's what's more important. But we know distance is important.
Correct.
It's imperative. So
Number one.
Yeah, we're going to talk about 5 things today that we know will allow you guys to hit it longer and sort of effectively build you the ultimate game from the tee deck.
Build a beast.
Build a beast. Bring that series back. So number 1, Mikey.
Know your baseline numbers. That's key.
You got to know where you're starting from, right? So we would never tell someone who has a tendency to be stuck on their back foot, hit up on it and swing to the right, or you got to swing up on it more to hit it long, right?
Sounds like me.
It does. So we would never do that. So obviously knowing your baseline numbers is knowing what we need to do to move the kind of delivery around to be optimized. So we'll show that in a second with some baseline deliveries from myself, but know your baseline numbers, guys. You have to create that start point.
Definitely.
Okay. Number 2, Mikey.
Number 2, high launch, low spin. That's our favorite. I always tell boys at the club or customers, that's our kind of fitter secret. High launch, low spin. You're gonna hit it further.
Yeah. Frederick Tuxon from TrackMan told us all years and years ago, 20 years ago, maybe more, that we have to hit the golf ball in the upswing with the driver. There's 2 golf swings in this game. There's the driver swing that is on the upswing, and there's the iron swing that is on the downswing. We need 2 different golf swings to play this game at the top level. So in order to create that high launch, low spin, we need to hit the ball in the up in order to create that high launch and low spin relative to the dynamic loftier driver.
Definitely. Number 3, control strike.
Yes, you're never going to be a player who's optimized off the tee unless you're hitting the ball solid, right? We want that maximum efficiency. We want the sort of the strike control, that you're not getting the gear effect to shape the ball sort of out of our control, so you control that strike.
Number 4, probably a harder thing for you to do is to find an ideal shaft and stick with it.
What are you trying to say?
Well, you like to change.
Well, I do like to change, you're right. But what do we always say when we do these baseline tests, and you guys see it on the channel, we always default, don't we?
Definitely.
We always find our way back to, for me, Ventus Blue.
Yeah.
It's just the way it always goes. So, having sort of picked a driver recently because I had that trip to Streamsong and there were different things going up, I end up back in a Ventus Blue. So for me, I know that is a shaft that I do really, really well with. So if somebody said to me today, Ian, you're going to go out and you're going to play and there's going to be a meaningful round of golf, I'm putting that in my driver.
Yeah, Old Faithful.
Yeah, we done a video on a brand new head that we tested in the channel. We tested it in its stock form. Really wasn't very good for me. We plugged in Ventus Blue. I think we picked up 5 miles an hour ball speed. I think we went from 158 to 163 or something like that.
Strike got better.
Everything got better, just knowing that I had the ideal shaft in there. For me, it was about timing, and for you, it's the same thing.
And then number 5, like we said at the beginning of this video, is speed. Speed is ultimately the be all and end all to make the ball go further. So it's one thing I don't have, but one thing that no issues for you.
Well, I would say, I want more. You want more. We all want more, right? That's the key to this. We all want to have a little bit more speed because we do know that is where it unlocks gears in the golf swing. It unlocks par 5s and long 4s, turns them into manageable 5s and sort of manageable 4s. So speed is a key. There's enough great systems out there that help you obviously swing a little bit quicker. For me, right over there. I carry my speed
speed,
sticks
yeah.
everywhere I go. I start every single session in here.
Warming up, yeah.
Warming up with my speed sticks. I put grips on there that I know I can kind of get more traction with. Speed, guys, is oxygen in the golf swing. We need it in order to play this game to a high level. So make sure you invest in yourself and make sure you're kind of committing. We've all got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You need 10 minutes 3 times a week.
We all have that.
10 minutes 3 times a week, Michael.
So busy.
Okay, so we all have it. We can all do it. We just need the commitment to do it and the discipline to do it.
Definitely.
We being you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start testing. Okay, Mikey, we're going to start with a driver that for me it's one of the ones in rotation.
Yeah.
And it's my fairway finder. If I'm going to play somewhere where it's imperative to keep it, like tons of it out of bounds,
Yeah.
I just got to hit fairways.
Definitely.
The 430 comes with me with TR Red.
Okay.
I like it. It's a really, really solid driver. I think I do give up a little bit of distance with it.
Yeah.
Doesn't have that kind of FU ball in it, but it's got the straight ball in it.
Yeah, safety.
Okay, Mikey. A little bunty one, get us in play.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't a great strike.
Safety.
Well, yeah, got to stay short of that little creek that runs across there, a wee burn. And yeah, lots to improve on.
Yeah.
Let's get to work.
Okay.
Okay, so we created the baseline numbers.
Yep.
More on the delivery than anything else, Mikey. So 3.3 up on the delivery, 1.3 in out. Happy with that. That's all I'm kind of trying to really do with that last one. Not the launch I like, not the spin I like.
No.
And not something that's going to be advantageous to me gaining some yards, right? So let's try to keep club head speed the same because we're just isolating one thing. Speed will come later, we'll put that in. But lots of you out there that swing 100 to 105 miles an hour who would love to know how to unlock that extra distance. So for me, this is our tee height number 4 in here. That's the first thing that's got to go, right? So I'm going up to tee height number 6.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to get that tee up a little bit. That will help me with the strike height. It will help me with my angle of attack.
And we're playing same loft here. Good strike.
Yeah, so better obviously carried quite a bit further and done it out of 2 miles an hour more club head speed.
Yeah.
So changing the kind of trajectory a little bit, getting that spin down. And obviously one of the ways we've done that is through equipment change.
Right.
Right, for me, it's very difficult for me to get high launch, low spin. For me, out the ping, I tend to go high launch, high spin out that one. So if we compare those, so yeah, 2.5 miles an hour difference in speed.
Yeah.
Effectively same efficiency, but look at the difference. So actually the dynamic loft was about the same and the attack angle was 2 degrees different.
Yeah.
So that's really what's changed the launch conditions. Definitely. Obviously strike as well, but in order to get that high launch, now that's not crazy high launch, high spin, or low spin by any means. You know, there's people who hit it, 15, 16 launch and spin it 2,000 there. You know, those guys bomb it. But in the delivery, I like to see people in around 17, 18 degrees of dynamic loft. That's the sweet spot for me.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is changing the angle of attack.
Right. Okay.
All right, point 3.
Control strike.
Okay, so let's give one where it's a little bit of a thin one. Okay, so
A little low
we
heel.
got it a little bit low on the heel, Mikey, on that one, and see how it changes. It just tilts the sort of launch conditions. It brings launch down, and it obviously gets spin up. Let's catch one a little bit higher in the head. Should try and hit all my drives high in the head. Okay, so Aaron on the higher side. It's not exactly high, but you can see when you play with a driver that's designed to give you that high launch, low spin flight, but you kind of get the delivery wrong a little bit from a dynamic loft perspective, you lose all spin.
Right.
And like we always say, spin is control.
Yep.
Right, so no one wants to play decent level golf at 1,500 spin.
No.
No one's going to do that. Okay, but I mean, for people who are struggling to kind of get some distance out of like 153 ball speed is okay speed. to get that amount of distance out of that speed
to touch 300 yards with not a lot of speed is pretty good.
Yeah. So that's really when we start talking, Mikey, about kind of the low part of the head, low launch, high spin, middle. You're going to get, and even slightly low of the middle of the symmetrical middle, right? So, the center of the driver is probably actually low of the symmetrical center of the driver, just based on the CG of the golf club being quite low. So that's why a measured strike 5 millimeters above the CG line is actually performing just like it's like it's been hit up here.
Yeah,
right?
almost knuckly.
Yeah. All right. What's point number 4?
Number 4 is find the ideal shaft. And obviously, like we said earlier, you go back to Ventus Blue TR in everything that you play. Whether you have multiple different driver heads, it's the shaft for
it. It really is. Yeah, I mean, I get on well with Tennessee. I get on well with Tennessee White and Tennessee Orange in the 1K series. But for me, when it comes down to just, performance and something that, like a test like this, we're going to hit a lot of different shots. You need your timing on your side. So for me to hit high launch, low spin, or maneuver, strike about, I need to know where that golf club is. A reasonable golfer, but not one that's good enough that if you gave me something off the shelf, I wouldn't be able to start producing any strike you want on call. But I'm not far away from being able to do it with the shaft that I like. So from a timing perspective, guys, I really do think that when you find that profile that suits you and fits you, you're going to want to kind of hover around, that profile and kind of stick with it from a timing perspective.
Definitely.
All right, last but not least.
Step number 5, speed. You
baby.
You gotta hit it and swing fast.
You gotta have some speed. You gotta have some gears and know that, obviously what the benefit of having that additional speed is. I'd say, super speed golf is a kind of staple of my routine, whether I play, whether I practice. I'll start my session with these guys. I'll work through my protocols, and not even just speed, sequence. Right. If I feel like I'm getting a little bit off in sequence, I'll start doing some of the step drills. Right. So for me, when it comes down to, if I know I'm just off and I'm just not timing it, right. Some of the step drills where it's literally just, swing the club forward, swing it away, step into, right? So when you're really trying to drill that transition move, because for me, the move I make, the death move, is I kind of get a little bit too casty at the top and I don't have a transition. There's kind of a backswing and a downswing. There's no transition in there where you kind of really load up that golf club with energy. That's probably my favorite drill with the driver, is just swing it forward, step in, and really feel like you create that energy on the way in. That's where my speed comes from.
Yeah. And the nice thing too is those are weighted, because you can swing your driver as fast as you want.
Yeah.
But you don't have to think to swing those super speed or anything like that. It gives you that feeling of something a little bit heavier, just to really train that groove that you're looking for.
Yeah, if you want to in the red one. But I also think one of the things people make the mistake of when they speed train is they think you want speed train with heavier clubs to train speed. It's the opposite. You train speed by swinging lighter things, whether that's an alignment stick or whatever it is. The sort of the reprogramming of the muscle and the movement pattern needs all three, right? So you've got significantly lighter, it's 20% lighter in the green, 10% lighter in the blue, and 5% heavier in the red. That sort of muscle confusion, sort of really kind of retraining the brain to kind of know what's going on. It's awesome.
Cool.
Right, Stephen, add some speed to some.
Yep.
Okay, so that's a bit more like adding a little bit more speed.
Yep, better.
Obviously, a bit more of the high launch, low spin, adding all the kind of ingredients we've talked about today, Mikey.
Yep.
That's where you're going to find some extra distance. And
quick.
As we say, drive that distance up, drive that handicap down. That's what we're all looking for.
Love it.
All right, Mikey boy, we set out with 5 key sort of bullet points in order to gain some distance. Know exactly where your baseline starting point is.
That's important.
Yeah, you got to understand the certain delivery characteristics and ball flight characteristics that really need to be adjusted in order to get the optimized sort of ball flight and delivery and strike, etc., all aligned with one another. So as we moved that around, we had our baseline, which is at 153 ball speed, just a kind of smooth, comfortable swing. We then focused obviously on high launch, low spin. We picked up a nice 26 yards on carry, good 20 yards in total, obviously didn't run as much. Then if we go over to here, we worked on controlling the strike.
Yep.
We got that nice and centered, which was, very, very good. And at the end, we like to couple it all together with some speed.
Yeah.
So we lift the speed 11 miles an hour from where our baseline was, and we picked ourselves up a cool 42 yards.
Yeah, it's nice on this chart. You can see you start your baseline. Everything's starting to incrementally lead up to more distance, further drives, ultimate driver at the end.
I think that's it. That is exactly it. And it's one thing to, I think, also remind people is longer doesn't mean more wild or more sort of inaccurate off the tee. I never see that with people.
Right.
I don't ever see someone, swinging a bit quicker with a bit more aggression, and all of a sudden they just lose it.
Right. Yeah.
So for me, I didn't hit it more wayward when I added the speed.
No, if anything, probably a little bit more controlled, which is nice to see. So.
Definitely. But coupling all that together, good speed, 13 launch, just
spin.
sub 23.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Perfect.
It's pretty much ideal. So guys, some really important keys for you guys there. We all want to drive it a little bit further. There's no bigger flex on the golf course than standing there and just absolutely bombing one off the tee. Make sure you've got all of these launch conditions and delivery conditions in order, and I guarantee that you will pick up distance off the tee. All right?
Cool test.
You got to try a few of these?
Yeah, I need to.
All right. Stay tuned for more, guys. We'll see you again soon.